Lenny is a stubborn man. And it's not a, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It just depends on what he's being stubborn about. That's the, he was stubborn for years. And I didn't know about postural restoration. I mean, I could envision it in my head. Like, why is this happening? Like, come on. I mean, my second husband had terrible scoliosis. I can't believe he made a son with me, but he did. He managed to make a son with me. But at any rate, I seem to get with these very intense men whose backs are locked up. Lenny's back is locked up in a different pattern. And he handled his life differently than the second husband did, where he sat and didn't even move. And Lenny never stops moving. Back is locked up in a lot of different ways, but Lenny can twist and move and do things, but it's painful and it's weird. His chest is all weird. Well, this seems to be a common human thing. What was my point? Oh, I was getting ready to hit the pause button and say, what am I talking about this morning, Karen? The fact that Lenny was able to finally break through his pattern of black and white thinking that he could not possibly change the workout routine, lifting heavy weights that he's done 3 times a week for decades, except recently, in recent years, he's had to drop it to once a week because of his running back and forth and trying to build this house. He has not had to drop the weight. The circuit that he does anaerobic at the same time with heavy weight. And I'm just like, dude, he says, now I take 3 deep breaths between machines. And he does 3 circuits of all these. And I'm going, I need you to stop doing this, Lenny, because what you're doing, and he's like, la, 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 I cannot hear you. I can't. I said, clearly this workout is not giving you flexibility. But it's strength. I need the strength. If I stop doing it, I'm going to fall apart. I get it. Like, he has, like, hardcore fight or flight, locked in, black or white thinking on this. Showed him the postural restoration guy. Showed him saying, the reason why you need to stop doing this, Lenny, which is pull down the bar, a barbell, pulling it, he's arching his back, he's locked like that already. Why are you strengthening that position? He's like, oh. I had him do a child's pose with a thick bolster type pillowy thing pressing against his ribs because he has rib flare, and had him curling his back over. He couldn't barely curl his back. He's like, this feels incredible. I said, breathe into your back. I got Lenny doing yoga on the bed now. I'm like, bend over that mother. And he's like, oh my God, you're right. And I showed the guy, and he's like, it's going to be hard. I said, no, it's not going to be hard because you already know the last thing you want to do is reinforce this back the way it is. He's like, yeah. He's like, so this guy just said, look, go ahead and work it. Do what you got to do. Stop with the barbells. It's not even normal human movement to use barbell lifting type of things in natural living. So he said kettlebell to flip over to do it. He's like, I don't even do overhead press because he's got the thoracic outlet, whatever the hell it is on. I got that too. It's all funky up in there, man. It hurts like a son of a bitch. Anyway, he's going to do it. My husband, after I've 10 years been asking him to please modify your workout, I can see that if you would maybe do oblique work on one side and not the other for a while, or just less on it, that it would even, like, I had it in my mind that you need an uneven workout on both sides to bring your back, your posture. And he's just like, I can't hear you. I mean, he could hear me, but he couldn't face it because he was too busy, and he's in fight or flight. Couldn't even consider it. So apparently Lenny's reached a state in life where he's been able to drift out of fight or flight mode for periods of time where he can make rational decisions for his life and improve it, and thusly diminishing the amount of time that his parasympathetic, is that the one, nervous system spends in fight or flight mode, which will give him more and more success at undoing his twisted posture. And, like, when Lenny dedicates himself to something, he doesn't quit. I mean, he does. So, like, I would not be surprised if he's going to be a subject that is going to be known. I mean, we'll see. There's lots of twisted men out there straightening themselves out, but he's going to be known somewhere. because I just see him be like the spokesperson. Lenny would start a new career. Postural, I'm going to do this right. I don't know. You never know. You never know what Lenny might decide to do. I want my daughter, who wants to be a physical therapist, to look at this from this. Go ahead. Go through physical therapy and go straight into postural correction. It's just, yes. And then my other daughter, my oldest daughter, was interested in dental hygiene at one point in her life. I'm thinking, girlfriend, learn about the way that the dental thing works and become a dental assistant and to a dentist who's an integrative dentist, so you can be a part of this awesome movement towards showing human beings how we've been lied to and how we can actually correct mental, emotional problems and postural problems, which are all tied to the same exact thing going on. Lack of, or too much, whatever, stimulation to the brain. And it's it's doing the best it can to keep it copacetic in this environment. The brain is supposed to be the head's supposed to be able to turn all the way this way and this way to get the appropriate, if you can, and then it's like it's got to make shit up, I guess. Be like, what do we do now? Hence the postural problems and the mental problems. Let's go, YouTube. Let's blow the lid off this MFR. All right, let's have a great weekend.